Actions as opposed to values and beliefs. Which one is more important? This is something I want to talk about because I think it's an important issue, or I think the two are definitely connected. I think your values and your beliefs inform your actions to a degree, and your actions then also in turn inform your values and beliefs. And so I think it's a kind of cyclical thing where it keeps spinning round and round and round. But I think with the way the modern world is, that I think actions take a little bit more precedent, at least at the beginning, I think. Because, and I don't know why, I think it might just be, who knows, because, maybe the world is a little bit too negative these days. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have the belief that they can't change or that they can't do something, so that they never take the actions that they should be taking, and then in turn they don't get the results they want, which in turn informs their pre-existing belief that they, can't do it. So, it just sets off this kind of chain reaction, of negativity, unfortunately. So I think action can be the way to kind of first sprout that and start the whole chain off, because values and belief are kind of like a map, you know what I mean? They're your map, they're the way you perceive the world. So everyone knows that what your reality is or what you see isn't actually reality. It's your perception of reality. So, and the way you perceive it is through your values and beliefs. So they're kind of the lens, or almost like if you imagine reality as like the terrain, your values and beliefs are kind of like the map that, is your best recording of what the terrain kind of looks like, you know what I mean? And I think a great example to kind of illustrate this is, I think it was in a book by Stephen Covey, I think 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it was talking about this ship captain, and there was on his radar there was some sort of there was something like beeping on his radar, and so he hops on the comms radio and tells the guy and calls out to the other, what he thinks is the other boat, and he goes, hey, you need to do, move course, you need to change course, we're coming down this lane, you've got to change course. And they go back and forth via the comms, and it gets pretty heated, and he's like, at the end of it, the ship captain's like, hang on mate, I am the captain of blah 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 ship, you will do what I say, change course. And then the response back on the radio was, well, guess what, the person on the radio on the other end was like, well, we're a lighthouse, so good luck with that. And I think that kind of illustrates the point, is he thought the map was, he had the ability, the map and terrain of the terrain was that, they both can move. But the reality was, his perception was wrong. His values and his beliefs at that moment were wrong. The terrain was, that lighthouse can't move. You've got to be the one to move. And I'm sure I probably didn't do it enough justice just then, but I'm sure you can kind of get the general message I'm trying to say. And where I think actions can kind of take precedent over values and beliefs is when someone's really down in the dumps, like I said, they really don't have that self-confidence to change much in their own life, and it kind of becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, like I said before. So I think you just need to go back to basics with that person. You need to be getting them to do the 3 most basic things, I think, and it's one of those things your mother always tells you to do. So reading is one of them. You need them to get, I think one action the person needs to take is reading. The other is exercising. And I think the last one should be, are you getting enough sleep, or are you getting good sleep? Because obviously if someone is got a terrible sleep pattern and is constantly perpetually tired, they're going to always have low amounts of energy, and they're never going to get anything done, regardless of what it is. And then the second part into that whole energy thing as well is the exercise. So a great way to not just improve your health, but also your energy levels is through exercise. So doing, semi-intense, medium intensity to high intensity exercise for 30 minutes a day is enough to get the majority of the benefit, the health benefits and the energy benefit from exercising. So it's not a huge commitment. And then the last one is just reading, which is just that alone, getting someone's mind to just constantly one, focusing on something is always good, because if you're focusing on a task, your attention span is getting longer, or it's kind of like you're flexing your attention muscles, and the longer you can stay on task and the longer you can focus, the better you can do things, because you're not going to get distracted, and you're going to see, you're going to cut to the core part of the issue quicker than other people who can't focus as well. So I think all three of those kind of build in together to start that momentum, because a lot of people don't fully know what their beliefs or values should be, and I don't think anyone really does have like the definitive values you should have, because values and beliefs are some things that are ever changing and like constantly evolving when you incorporate new information and stuff like that. So, and look, don't get me wrong, that's a hard thing to do, and I think that's the reason why you have people like climate deniers and stuff like that, is because they hold a value or belief that says climate change isn't real and fossil fuels don't cause CO2 emissions to rise and in turn warm the planet. They have that belief hard set into them, and when new information kind of comes in, they don't want to deal with that. They just kind of put their heads in the sand, because the hard part about it is if you have to respond to new information by having to change your values and beliefs, it can open this kind of Pandora's box in your mind, or I think in a lot of people's minds, that, oh my God, if I was wrong about XYZ thing, what else do I believe or think is true that isn't true? And I think for a lot of people, that's a terrifying thought, because they just kind of go about their life just thinking, oh yeah, this bit of information I've first given, is the definitive truth, and I don't need to change my beliefs or values, when new information comes, because I've already got the definitive answer, so I don't need to change. And so it can be kind of scary for people when they realize, oh wait, actually, I might have been wrong in the first instance, and actually, the map I had laid out wasn't representative of the terrain, and in turn, that's going to run me into trouble. And I think to round this all out, I think it's why I think actions is kind of, I don't want to downplay values and beliefs, and I'll talk about that in great depth in another video. But I think it was another quote by, I think it was Stephen Covey again. It was like, you have to view also in some respects values as your direction or guide in your life. So similar to like what I was saying with the maps. And what he said was, it doesn't matter what direction your ship is going if it is sinking. So in other words, it doesn't matter what values or beliefs you hold. If your life is falling apart because you're not taking the right actions to at least have a stable environment, so you're not exercising, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not, reading to improve yourself, like improve your brain and, your cognitive capacity and stuff like that. If you're not doing the bare minimums, it doesn't matter whether you're going towards, you have good values and you're going towards something good, or you have bad values and you're going towards something, quite terrible. It doesn't matter at that point, because, well, your ship is sinking, so, you're going to drown. I think that's all I want to cover for now, but like I said, I will cover values in more depth, because I do think they are incredibly important. But I think in this day and age, I think action takes a real big precedent just in the beginning, I think. But yeah, let's leave it at that for now.